All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Carla Berlin. Welcome to Around Town TV. Tonight, Around Town TV presents the Panda Project, a walk to end veteran suicide. And this walk was founded by the two people that are here tonight in honor of their son, Sergeant Cody Lee Randall. And here's a picture of him. And they are the Gold Star parents are with me tonight. Vicki Randall, his mom, and Bill Musel, his stepdad. Did I say that right? Musel?
Yeah.
Musel. Okay.
Close enough.
And this is our guy. And you're going to hear that story. You're going to hear the why, and we're going to share what the Panda Project is. It's coming up here on July 27th. And let's get into that. Let's talk about. We'll get into what the event is and how you can participate, but why you started this event.
It goes back actually quite a few years ago. We were real good friends with the person who used to direct the Eagles Healing Nest, and we met her actually in Pageant Land, which of course, we came
yes.
from Pageant Land.
This is how we all met.
Exactly.
Yep, pageantry.
And when all of this happened with my son, when he took his life, it was on April 3rd of 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic, and I was having trouble getting to Alaska. And the minute that
that's where he was stationed.
Yes, he was stationed
at the
yep,
time.
He was serving up in Anchorage, Alaska. And Mel had reached out to me, and one of the first things Mel had told me first off was that suicide is considered a mental health issue, and that Cody was eligible for military honors. And it's crazy the things that stand out in your mind, because I will never forget those words, and they really came to be very important as time went on. But Mel reached out to us, and the Eagles Healing Nest was absolutely a place of refuge. It saved our lives. It's become a second home to us, and it's just an incredible place for veterans to heal from the silent wounds of war, PTSD, addictions, and all of the things that come along with having served overseas and anything else that has afflicted our military.
Well, and imagine this. It's middle of, it's COVID. The world is shut down, and April 3rd, she finds out that her son has taken his life. And he's serving our country. He was a sergeant living in Alaska. And immediately, I know you two were both trying to get there, or you're trying to get there, and you couldn't because the world was shut down, and nobody was really helping.
Oh, it was awful. The minute we found out, of course, we booked flights to Alaska. My casualties officer was sitting at my kitchen table as we were booking the flights. When he got back to his office, he called us to tell us that Alaska had just been shut down. And if we were to fly into Alaska, we would be escorted to a hotel and quarantined for 14 days. So having said that, I couldn't fly to Alaska and be put in a hotel. And so that began, we canceled our airline tickets and spent the entire week trying to find out what would actually happen for sure. We called airlines, governors, representatives in government, and the TV stations. I contacted everybody I could find out to get an exact answer as to what would happen, and nobody knew anything. What actually ended up happening, a good friend of mine who is also a nail client, works for the Brainerd Daily Dispatch, and DeLynn gave me the actual telephone number to the director of the Department of Health in Alaska. I called her. She picked up the phone and said hello, and after a week of talking to answering machines and press 1 for this and 2 for that, the first thing I said to her when I got her on the phone was, "Oh my God, I'm talking to a human."
Yeah.
And then I did find out exactly what would happen, and it was fine. Booked our tickets that minute and flew out the next day.
And it was just such a process, and we'll get into some of that as they're willing to share. But let's talk about, and Bill too, I want to hear your thoughts on this. How did you come up with the Panda Project?
My son loved pandas. And one of the first things I remember as I was flying home on the plane after the week in Alaska, came up with the idea I wanted to get a panda tattoo in honor of my son. And talked to my daughter, she wanted to get one too. And then we decided, after all of the great things that the Nest had done for us, we wanted to somehow give back. And Bill's actually the one who came up with the idea of doing a walk. And so then, of course, we had to come up with a name.
Okay.
And my daughter's actually the one who came up with the name.
Of course she
And
did.
so, yep,
Yeah.
and it became the Panda Project. And although, people look at it and go, well, what does that mean? I know it doesn't mean anything to most people, but for us, it's an amazing name, and we love it.
Well, and it's come to mean a lot, and this is the 4th annual one. And for those who aren't familiar, you may have seen me years ago post when I was emceeing for them, and I've had them on in the past talking about when they were running the United States pageants, and I've watched them put on events, so I knew when they called me and they said, hey, would you like to MC or co-MC this? And Bill and I co-MC, and I've co-MC'd with Billy. I was like, well, yeah, what an honor, right? Of all the things I've been asked to MC, I'm a huge patriot, and my father was a proud Vietnam Navy vet, and of course, I lost my father 6 weeks after her son died, and there's no comparison to losing I mean, it's all relative when you're losing someone you love dearly, but to lose a child, we've talked about this tonight, I can't even imagine.
And actually, I have to credit you for the idea of how I was able to finally hold a celebration of life for my son. Because, of course, at that time, funerals were not being allowed, and military honors were not happening. And so I just assumed I could not have a funeral for my son. And then you had the funeral for your dad, but it was held on private property.
Yes.
Which, of course, in turn gave me the idea, maybe we could do it at the Eagle's Healing Nest.
Yep.
Which is exactly what we did. We held his celebration of life at the Eagle's Healing Nest. And thanks to Randy Olson.
I was just going to say, I was able to hold my dad's because of her introducing me to Randy Olson.
Yep.
Yes.
And Randy arranged all of the military honors. And thanks, Randy, if you're listening.
Yep.
I'm forever grateful for everything that you've done for us.
Thank you.
Along with the Eagle's Healing Nest and you, Carla.
Well, likewise. And Randy made sure at the time when my father passed, the whole George Floyd mess had happened in downtown Minneapolis, and our governor had actually asked all military honors were to be stood down, and Randy made it happen because we were on private property. My dad got his full military honors, and I am so grateful to you, and I know he is and was too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so then we came up with this, or I wasn't a part of this, but you came up with this wonderful event. It's really evolved. This year, it's coming up Saturday, July 27th, and it's called the Panda Project, a walk to end veteran suicide, but you don't have to walk. No. And we're going to get into that. Registration is at 11 a.m. There is no cost to get in, but there are so many fun ways to donate. There'll be a silent auction. I've gotten some really cool things in the silent auction. Purchase a t-shirt for $20. There's tours of the Eagle's Healing Nest, and we'll get into some of that. Here, I'll have you hold the banners up. You can purchase these banners, and every year I buy 10 of these in honor of my dad. And if you're a Gold Star family, you can purchase that one.
Exactly.
And
these, we actually attach them to stakes, and we put them all along the walk. So as you're walking the route for this walk, you can read all of the different military personnel that are being honored and who is honoring them and what branch of service they were in.
And the walk is really just the whole beautiful grounds. It's just gorgeous and just so stately. And for those of you who have wait, I've seen those in Carla's yard. I've kept these, and on the holidays, I put them out with flags.
I love that.
And with my dad. And so in this last move, I kept only a couple of them, but I had them out for 4th of July and Memorial Day. And so thank you.
And actually, people can buy them and not attend the walk.
Yes.
I've already received a few people that have purchased the banners. But if you would like to honor somebody that was in the military in any capacity, they could be living, they could have passed by now, it could be Gold Star, however you want to. I would love to sell you one of the banners and put them as part of our walk. And they're $10 each.
It really affordable way to contribute to the Eagle's Healing Nest, to this event, honor your loved one. And again, you don't have to be there, but there's two ways you can get the money to her. One is Venmo, and I'll put that in the description or put a note in the comments, or I will go back in and tag Vicky and and I'll make sure you get, but I'll have it in there too. Venmoing and PayPal. Do you know them by heart or no? They probably won't remember on here anyway,
Right,
but we'll go back in.
Venmo is just Vicky Randall.
Oh, Vicky Randall, and she's easy to find, but I will show you, I will go back in and make sure it's easy. You could just hit the link and go there. But it's a good way, again, to support your loved one if you can't attend. If you do, again, there's no cost to get in, but you can buy, I have the t-shirt, and buy a t-shirt. There's so many cool silent auction. Those of you who know I love Christmas, I got the coolest, there's no place like home pillow there last year, and I just love all my little finds that I get there. In addition to the banners that we just showed you, this year they're doing something different. And Bill, do you want to kind of talk about the trailer and what we're doing?
What are we doing with the trailer?
He keeps deferring back to us.
What?
Yeah.
Fill a trailer.
We're filling a trailer.
Oh, I haven't even heard about filling a trailer.
Oh, well, he's learning on
I
his.
have not heard about it.
Well, he's not on Facebook, so we have to give him that.
See, so I don't,
Okay, so this year.
I'm not on social media.
Okay, so this year they're gonna fill a trailer and with household things for the nest, because they really are hurting for supplies in general. And ground coffee was one, toilet paper, laundry detergent, pods are preferred, pine salt or floor cleaner, multi-purpose surface cleaner. What else?
Just anything. If you think about what you need to live daily and to keep up your house, they need all of those things: body wash, shampoo,
Paper towels, Kleenex.
Okay.
Kleenex.
Yep.
All of those sort of things.
Yep, toilet. Oh yeah, I said toilet paper.
Yep.
So at 11 o'clock, the registration will happen. At noon, lunch is being served, and let's talk about what lunch is going to be all about. This year, it's going to be, you're in for a treat.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine who has done a bunch of catering in the past, she owns a business in Brainerd now that has become one of our sponsors. It's called Flame Nutrition, and her name is Ray Thompson.
And she's a saint.
Oh, she's an amazing. In fact, I think last year she actually donated $2,500 to the Panda Project.
Wow.
Yeah, she's amazing.
And then she's put
Oh,
together.
I met her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she puts together a couple of really great scratch off silent auction
yeah.
items. It's really good. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. But
She's already got one of her clients who she does nails and toes. One of her clients already said, I'm putting dibs on one of those.
Yep, absolutely. And so Ray is going to serve a taco bar with all the fixings.
Ooh, perfect for an outdoor.
Yeah.
That's kind of been the hot thing at all these graduations this year too.
Yep,
And it's
exactly.
so great. And then at 12:30, the program begins with a prayer from Pastor Paul, of course. And Paul worked with me. There was a group of some veterans and others that did a telethon a few years back, and Paul was a part of that, and I always enjoy connecting with him. So he'll do that, and then do you want to talk about what will happen after that? We
several years back when we were still in pageant land, we found it's kind of crazy how you network with people at work. I met a young lady. I was doing her nails, and she is actually a singer. And we started talking, and we needed a singer for the pageant. And so as I'm doing her nails, she actually belted out a Lady Gaga song. Yeah. And I was like, wow.
And she's more than a singer. She's a real singer.
Yeah.
She's, yes. And her significant other, Michael Winston, are going to, they were there last year, and they're going to perform again this year. They'll be opening with America the Beautiful, and then they will start with the national anthem. And then in the closing of the Panda Project, they will actually do almost a kind of a tonic solfa sort of form of, along with their nephew, Morgan, they'll do God Bless the USA, the Lee Greenwood.
And I get you. You'll be crying.
It's amazing. We bring all the veterans out. Our good friend Troy, he calls all the commands, and all the veterans come out, and this song is performed, and there's not a dry eye.
No.
Absolutely not a dry eye. And it's absolutely amazing. They're just so talented. In fact, April was the official general's national anthem singer, and she's ex-military also. She's a veteran.
Amazing. She's incredible. They all are. Yeah. So that will happen, and then Sean Core, the director of the Eagles Healing Nest, will speak and say a few words, and then you have some guest speakers, including some Gold Star families and moms. Correct. And I didn't know how much you want to share that, or
Actually, one of the things that we're looking for is we want to find as many Gold Star families as we can to come and attend. I realize, they'll probably come from just within the state of Minnesota. Hopefully some will venture out. But what I found in everything that we've done in the last few years, talking about it makes a difference. And as a Gold Star mom, you don't want people to forget your child. And so we are asking as many Gold Star moms, brothers, sisters, dads, family members to come forward and say their names. And they're welcome to get up and say the name of their child, what rank and branch of military service that they were in, and anything that they want to say, they're welcome to say it, because we don't want to forget.
and Bill and I, as the co-MCs of the event, will make sure that
Absolutely.
anybody who wants to talk about their child
Yep.
or their person as a Gold Star family they've lost, that will happen, right, Bill?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there, you can do the walk or take tours, and it's incredible. Talk about
And then,
that.
and one other
Yeah.
thing I want to add,
Yeah.
just from being on Facebook over the years, there's a woman that actually she was part of the 22 Too Many, one of their walks, runs that they do, which they carry the pictures of soldiers on their backs.
Wow.
And her name's Patty Cloutier, and Patty actually carried Cody's picture.
Oh.
And so I reached out to her on Facebook and friended her, and she then I just started following her. And one of the things Patty did, she lost her son also to suicide just less than a year prior to Cody, and she started doing the daily grief readings on Facebook. And so I listened to her, and then she would add all sorts of things, but I was so impressed because I knew this was her way of dealing. And so I thought, it's not even just bringing Patty to the nest to tell her story. I wanted Patty to experience the nest and experience the peace and the healing that the love that the Eagles Healing Nest has. So Patty's coming from Concord, New Hampshire,
Wow.
to speak at our event. And honestly, I would love everybody to come out and give her a great Minnesota welcome.
Please.
And support her.
Let's do that. Let's talk about the Eagles Healing Nest, because I know it's played an integral role in both of your lives in this healing journey. In fact, you spend your weekends there still to this day. And Sergeant Cody Lee Randall, when he passed, this was April 3rd of 2020, right in the midst of COVID. And here they are. They started this event. This is now its 4th annual, and you go there almost every weekend, don't you?
Pretty much.
Let's
You can talk about this
yes.
one.
Yeah.
This is you,
This is you,
Yeah.
buddy.
Well, I mean, I didn't know anything about the Eagles Nest. I didn't know. Just got to know Mel.
Yeah.
And one of the things that, from a perspective for me, from sitting back when you let your wife, or you put your wife on a plane and off she goes to Alaska, I mean, that was, I don't know, that was tough. And then what happened with Sue Edwards, right?
Edward.
Yes.
Sue and Paul.
So Sue and Paul Edwards, they got together, and they came to the airport,
Brainerd
the
Airport.
Brainerd Airport, along with Mel, and Mel brought about, 10, 15 of the veterans, and they all lined up. And now this is at a time when, one, you're not supposed to be you have to be 6 feet away from anybody, right? And then you can't shake hands, you can't hug, you can't do anything, right? And with Vicki experiencing what she experienced in Alaska, with all that, and her son, and then coming back, and she gets off, and she didn't know anything about this, and she gets off the plane, and here's these veterans holding flags, and Sue and Paul, and they're there to greet, And I just get goosebumps. It's amazing.
And they hugged.
Yeah, and then Vicky goes, "What do I do?" You know, and I go, "Give him a hug."
It was dead silence, and of course I lost it. I
Of
completely
course.
broke down at that moment.
Yeah.
Which this was what I really needed after
Yeah.
the week in Alaska.
Of course
and
you do. You need love.
Yeah,
We all
and we
do.
had all our
Yeah.
friends there. We had the pageant people there, the Christensen girls. Everybody was there. The Lord Box were there.
Well, you're
And
loved.
Brenda Gendra was
Yeah,
there, and all,
yeah.
all our people, and it was so touching, and I don't know. Then all of a sudden we started heading every Sunday to the nest, and we go to chapel, and that's what we do. We go to breakfast first. Somebody invited us to come to breakfast at one of these big houses, and then next thing I know, we're going for breakfast and to chapel every Sunday. And then somebody would say, "So how far is it to the nest from Brainerd?" Hour and a half. Oh, so you take 3 hours out of your day on a Sunday to drive to the Eagle's Nest? Yeah, that's what we do. And that's really how we got through that first winter, was with people of like mind and people that understood us.
And understood, and maybe had lost a son, but they understood pain. They understood serving our country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like they just welcomed us in, and
Right.
we welcomed them in. And I don't think Vicky even really spoke much.
No, I couldn't.
She couldn't speak, but
No, I
just
remember.
just being there got the ball rolling.
And it's crazy as I look back now, I didn't realize what was happening while I was there, but as I look back, I can say that the chapel definitely played a significant part in my healing and being able to handle and cope with everything that had gone on. So essentially, I've thanked Pastor Paul. I really feel like the chapel there saved me.
Oh
Yeah.
wow! And the people and
And the
those who were
people.
there that have been there for you since you got off the plane. And I've noticed all those names you said, they're at your walks.
Yeah.
Every
Oh,
year.
absolutely.
Or they're at the Panda Project
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because coming the way we come to the nest, Sauke Center, you come around this little bend, and then you come over the hill, and then you turn to the right, and there's this great big long driveway road that goes into the nest, lined with trees, and it's like, what the heck is this place?
It's beautiful.
You know what I mean?
Everybody,
It's stunning.
absolutely everybody that I've ever spoke to, and for anybody who thinks they might want to attend, mark my words, when you drive onto that property, there is a sense of peace, and everybody feels it. And there is, God
It
is
will
present.
take your breath away.
Yeah.
Absolutely, God is present at the nest
Yeah.
each and
Yes.
every minute of every day. It's amazing.
The property is beautiful. And years ago, wasn't it like a girl's home?
Yeah.
In the early 1900s, a woman came up from the south and opened this place. And there's a story. If you come, there are going to be tours of the nest,
Yes.
so you'll get a lot of this information. But she opened up a wayward home for girls. So it definitely has quite a history. And then, of course, from that time, I think it was a juvenile detention place for boys at one point. And it's been several things throughout history. But it reminds you in some ways of driving onto a southern plantation.
It does. And what's really cool is not only is it for male veterans, there's now some females living
Absolutely.
there. And then hockey legend Mark
Pavlich.
Pavlich was also there when he passed away. And so they have the big hockey statue of him. And so I think those, like Mel and that whole group that got this going, because it has helped my dear friends and these people who have been in my life since they adopted me, and I didn't lose a son, and I just love to go and support, and I support the Eagle's Nest at the holidays, and I just try to continue because it's near and dear to my heart, and it's impacted me, and I've watched what it's done for you.
Yeah.
Now, an event like this could not be possible without sponsors, and I just want to make mention of a few that are very important that we've had the blessing of working with. Now, some of them all 4 years, but one of them is First Impression Printing of Brainerd.
And they printed our banners for us.
Oh wow! Thank you.
Yep.
Yep. Lions International.
Yep.
They paid for our t-shirts.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, and then they've done other things.
They've
for
done,
us,
they've,
too.
oh, the Lions have, I
They've done a
know,
lot.
they've already just recently donated $500, but they, over the last 4 years, have donated 10,000.
Yeah,
The Brainerd Lions
Brainerd Lions are amazing.
to
Wow.
the Eagles Healing Nest.
Nancy
Thank
Cross
you.
and all the guys, all the people there.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Huge. It's needed and appreciated. I know that. Culligan Water, Brainerd. Talk about what
They provide all of our water. So I think, was it the first Panda project? It was, I mean, it was close to 100 degrees. It was so hot. And let me tell you, we went through the water. So
We
much
did.
needed. So Culligan is providing all of our water for the walk.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. And is it Getker?
Getker.
Getker Realty, Colleen and
Kevin.
Oh.
Hey,
I've
Colleen.
met them.
Amazing.
Amazing people. They're doing
Colleen
incredible.
decorates and Kevin decorates and,
And
he
Kevin does whatever she tells him.
photographs and videos and
Yeah.
they do great stuff.
Oh,
Great
that's
friends.
great. Flame Nutrition of Baxter is
Is my friend Ray who's
Ray.
doing all of the food.
the taco bar. Come join
Yeah.
us, even if it's just to eat.
Yeah.
You won't leave though.
amazing.
Yeah. Super One Foods of Baxter.
And Cub Foods.
Cub Foods of Baxter.
They both provided gift cards to help us buy the groceries
Oh,
for
wow.
the food.
Wow, that's fantastic. And there's a lot of people who support the silent auction, and some people will just show up and write checks, and that isn't what, well, it's very much appreciated. Just come. It doesn't cost anything. Or if you want to give, buy a $10 flag in honor of someone you know who is serving or has served.
Or a free will donation. We are
Yep.
definitely accepting any and all donations.
Yep.
The Eagles Healing Nest, and let me give you just a little background.
Yes.
They are a 501c3. So they get no government money, no grants. I mean, I think there are a few grants now they're starting to apply for that
Okay.
they are eligible for. But they run completely on donations.
Wow.
And good and bad. The
Right.
beauty of it is because the government doesn't have their hand in it, this place works.
It does.
This place absolutely works. And we have so many friends that we have made with these veterans who have gone on and soared the nest, who are doing beautifully in
Like
life.
Troy.
Like Troy.
Who will lead the ceremony. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's been fun to watch them evolve, and
We have Mark and we have Alec.
a lot of good ones.
Vicret.
Yeah.
Vicret's gonna
Yeah,
be there.
Vicret, he'll be there.
Oh,
I can never say his
fantastic.
name.
Jimmy Pint, who soared the nest, has his own little apartment now. Or I think I don't know if it's an apartment or a house. I'm sorry, Jimmy, if I messed that up. But he's
He
got
soared
out on
the
his
nest,
own.
and he's doing well.
And
Yeah.
Carter, love Carter. He got custody of his son. He's now living with his son, taking care of him. We've seen different veterans reunited with their children. It's just an amazing place.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. And it's been fun for me to be a part of that. If you know me, you know. Besides that, I love Christmas. I am a huge patriot. In fact, my friend Patty, who usually is watching, she will tease if we travel a lot together. If we're in Florida somewhere, she'll say, well, we have to leave 15 minutes early because if you run into a veteran, we know you're going to stop and talk. Well, I was taught you always thank them for their service. And
Yeah.
I feel terrible that our veterans are treated so poorly after all they do for us. So I'm so thankful to all those past and present and more in the future of who make the Eagle's Nest work and keep it going to treat and give an opportunity to those who've done so much for us. More than a thank you, a chance to heal and get back on their feet. And it's not easy.
And I want to add too, the way the Eagles Healing Nest runs, it is completely run by the veterans themselves.
Yeah.
So as part of their healing, after getting out of the military and maybe not necessarily knowing how to live as a civilian,
Yeah.
the Eagles Healing Nest helps prepare these veterans the way the military did not. So they get up in the morning, and if it snowed the night before, somebody has to plow, somebody has to shovel, somebody has to cut the grass, somebody has to weed whack, somebody needs to clean the bathroom, somebody needs to do the cooking, somebody needs to do the dishes. It's all done by the veterans themselves. So, and they police each other, and they don't put up with anything.
That's important.
They're very, very strict, and they have to be accountable to each other. And like I said, this place absolutely works.
So, by supporting the Panda Project and your beautiful event that you do every year, which supports the Eagle's Nest, how we were talking about the coffee and the toilet papers and things we can give, but what does this money go towards? What will they use it for?
Absolutely everything. What was the amount that you heard?
30,000
30,000 to
Wow.
heat
A
in a
month.
month.
Wow.
in a month is
So
what it takes to run.
And last year, that's what I think the amount that you raised,
Yeah.
correct?
yeah, we did 25,000
Yeah,
last year at our
and
walk.
that went to the Eagles Healing Nest. So just
Yeah.
think about that. Just to heat the place, 30,000 a month.
Yeah.
And of course, at any given time, there's about 75 residents there, and they need to be fed 3 meals a day. That alone.
Wow.
So, I mean, just if you think of the bills you have at home and what you have to survive, these veterans also must have all of this stuff.
Right, and we have to help them get back out and to soar the nest. If you're just tuning in, my name is Carla Berline, and I have with me tonight Gold Star family of Sergeant Cody Lee Randall, Vicki Randall, his mom, and his stepdad Bill Massell. And they are here talking about the Panda Project coming up on July 27th at the end of the month. It's a walk for to end veteran suicide. However, it's more just walking around the grounds and
Right.
looking at the beautiful place. You're not like walking a 10K or
Yeah.
And I and there's actually a little what is it like?
They call it the parade green.
Yeah.
So when the house was built for the woman who owned it, she had her house built on a hill that she had.
Beautiful.
She had the hill built too.
Oh.
So her house could set on the top of this hill, and she could overlook her grounds. And all of the houses that the veterans live in are on either side, and in the middle is the huge parade green, and it's all surrounded by sidewalks. And so the sidewalks have
And
become
that's
the walk.
where these signs would be placed that you would purchase for your loved one if you're a Gold Star family or you have a loved one that whether they've passed on or they're currently serving. I buy 10 of these every year. They're $10 for my dad in honor of him, to remember him. There is also like is it a trolley or like that they take people around on, and so
you don't have to walk.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it really isn't a walk. And it takes you all around the grounds, and there's animals, and it's like a farm. I mean, it is like a southern plantation, really, like you said. So that'll be fun too.
And it's really one of these things, as we're sitting here telling you about it, you're going, okay, cool, that sounds really nice. But, I'm busy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. I'll try. Honestly, there is something about going to this place. I've talked and told so many people who've never heard about the nest before, told them the stories, told them all about it, and when they get there, they're blown away at how this place really looks and how it functions. And so it's my goal to get as many people to the nest as
Yep.
possible so you can actually experience the amazing things that this place does.
Absolutely. Even if it's just for part of the day, come for lunch. You'll definitely want to stay for the ceremony. But for example of what she was just saying, a friend of mine, Deborah Moe, wanted to help me sponsor a veteran for Christmas. So we both did that, and we drove up to drop off our gifts. And the first thing she said, as we're standing out there, and she's in awe, even in the winter, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
She said, "I want to go." And she's coming on the 27th.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think, can you imagine what she's going to experience that day if she loved it in the winter?
Oh.
Yeah, and it was cold that day. I think it was the only time we really had snow all winter. But so it'll be fun for that. So absolutely, if you get a chance on July 27th, registration's at 11 a.m. They're starting to serve lunch at noon. It's a taco type bar. It'll be really good food. And thank you to Ray Thompson for your sponsorship of this. And then from there, the walk or the program begins at 12:30. And you'll hear from a variety of people, and the actual closing ceremony is scheduled for 3 o'clock. But if things, we've done in the past where things are speeding up, and we've done it even sooner. So,
Sure.
but just know that for sure, it's at 3 o'clock. It's not long, and it's worth it. And
Plenty of parking.
Plenty of parking. Not far from the cities. It's about an hour and 15 minutes, I think, from the Twin Cities. If I remember correctly, driving up there in the past. I'm down in Shakopee now, so it'll probably be a little longer than that, but about a little over 2 hours. But that's fine.
And it's right off of 94, I-94.
Easy to get to.
Very easy.
And a beautiful drive. And we just invite you all. I will also put all the details in. If you for whatever reason can't make it, and you're someone who wants to get like some ground coffee or toilet paper, Kleenex, detergent, Pine Sol, multi-purpose cleaner, you can drop it off with me, or we'll figure out how to get it up there.
Or actually just get on Amazon and have things shipped.
There you go.
I've already had some people that have sent things via Amazon. So.
There you go. Yep, great idea. Yep, and I can take things up there for anybody who would like to donate as well. What else, you guys?
Did we say that this is in Sauke Center? Have we mentioned Sauke
I don't
Center
think we
yet?
have.
I don't know if we have.
Yeah.
Yep, the Eagles Healing Nest is in Sauke Center. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
And
And Sauke Center, I mean, I didn't know anything about Sauke Center when we started going there, but to the nest, we just, abbreviate it to the nest.
Right.
But Sauke Center is a nice little community.
Oh, it's a
It's
darling.
beautiful
It's
community.
a cute little community, and they have a lot of stuff there.
They even have a
I know
McDonald's.
Troy has started his business there. He's got
Oh,
a
he
construction
has?
business,
Oh.
and he's doing very well, and could be more proud of him.
And it's kind of crazy because I actually have some roots in Sauke Center. As a
Yeah.
child growing up, my grandmother's sister had a farm in Sauke Center. And so their daughter, Gail, still lives there.
Oh, wow.
And so Gail has come to our walk. She's donated each year. In fact, she's donated $5,000 every year
I've met
Yeah.
her. I've met
to
her.
our walk, which we are so thankful for. And it's been so wonderful for me to reconnect with family. So
Yeah.
I've enjoyed that too. So it's kind of gone full circle in some ways.
What can we do you think, to prevent veteran suicide?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, the $50 million question, 22 a day. And it's actually a number that's higher than that. And that doesn't even include active duty. So my son was active duty. I have met many, and just via Facebook, and with this walk and all of the things that I've posted, I've had people reach out to me, and I've talked to many other mothers who have lost their child. And it's such an epidemic, and I wish I had an answer. And to me, it's more than you matter, you are loved,
Right.
all the little typical statements that we make.
Right.
And I haven't found an answer, and I keep struggling, and as I'm doing this, I try to find out more and more about suicide, and the biggest thing that I can come up with is the ripple effect that it creates. And if I can convey any message to any military personnel who is even contemplating or thinking that their life doesn't matter, number one, yes, your life does matter. And even more so, what it does to the families. And it's a pain that nobody can describe. And it's a pain that does not go away. It's been 4 years, and it's like it happened yesterday. And if I could even, I realize with suicide that the pain is so great for the person, and they don't see anything beyond their own pain. But if even you can find a little bit in your heart to understand the pain that's left behind is far, far worse than anything that this person is going through. It's a goal. If I can get a message, if I can save one person, whatever it is I can do. But we've got to do something.
And
We've
the
got to.
veteran suicide line is what, 899, or instead of a 911, it's 8.
Isn't it
988?
811?
You're right.
I don't even know.
811.
Yeah.
811. Yep.
Yeah, it's
And
811.
I will find out on that, but there, the hotline is out there a lot, and I can't even imagine when you're in that frame of mind what it would be like to feel like you needed, you would want to call, or
Right.
you need to call but you don't have the strength or energy. I've been touched by suicide in my family. I've been touched by a couple times, and growing up, someone I hung out with in high school took his own life our senior year. Couple people did that I grew up with. So I know that pain. I do not know the pain of a family member, a child, and I just know of watching what Bill and Vicky have been through, and the excruciating pain of that. And we know that it happens at least 22 a day, more than 22 a day of veterans, and the respect. We have to help them. They're serving our country. They're protecting our freedoms and rights, preserving and protecting those, and there, I know I've shared the story when my father came home from Vietnam as a Vietnam Navy vet. He never told any of us he was a Vietnam Navy vet. He was a proud Navy veteran, and that's because they were spit on when they got home. And spit on, like, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I think about, they know the story too. I living in this house because of my neighbor's flag, because I saw his flag on, that's who I am. I'm just so admire those who have fought for my freedoms and rights and continue to, and then lose their life over the stress, whether it's PTSD or mental health, that is a lot of times brought on from their serving. So
Sure.
whatever we can do. So come and join us on
Yeah.
July 27th. If you can't, think about a donation. Think about purchasing one of these.
Or you can just go actually to the Eagles Healing Nest website. It's www.eagleshealingnest.org. And you can make a donation right online.
I'll put that back in the description too. Feel free to donate some of the items we've mentioned, and I had it in my post when I was promoting this, but we'll go back. I mean, we talked about ground coffee, toilet paper, Kleenex, detergents, pine salts, floor cleaners, multi-purpose cleaners. Think about anything you need to live on a daily basis, which is a lot, and to help, so we can help them. Anything else that we haven't covered?
Well, one of the things that they always say at the Nest when people come in and we meet, we'll go there and camp on the weekends, and then we always go for breakfast there at the Chow Hall. And it's always my job, it seems like, if there's new people that are there, I always go up and introduce myself. And one of the things, we just met a young lady that had just gotten there last 2 weekends ago. And what we always say is welcome home.
And that is a true statement. I think it was a couple years ago, we sat down at breakfast and Bill, of course, doing what he just said, met this older gentleman, and he said, welcome home, and how's it going? And he said, well, for the last 3 years I've been homeless, and now I finally have a home. And there are so many of those stories. The guy who lived in his car for 18 months.
Yeah.
The veteran who right now is actually doing a kayak trip, Redbeard, hadn't eaten in 4 days, he was being evicted out of his home. Mel went out at 3 a.m. and brought him back home to the Nest. He's been there for a year now healing, and now he's doing a kayak trip to prevent veteran suicide.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
The other thing that I want to say too is that, of course, we are about the veterans because of our son, but there's other people out there, and there's other causes, and there's other people that commit suicide.
Right.
And so you are welcome too to come.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you have a person that in your family that has committed suicide or anything like that, and you're struggling,
yeah, you don't have to be a veteran.
you don't have to be a veteran. Come to this walk. Come and heal with us. Last year there was these 2 people that showed up. I don't know if they'll be there this year, but they were there, and I introduced myself to them, and I said, "Who are you guys?" And they're I think it was his brother that had committed suicide just recently, and they had heard about us, and so they came. They just wanted to see what we were doing, so that maybe they could do something in honor of their brother.
Right.
And I said, just the fact that you're here, you're honoring your brother,
Well, and I have found a lot of the people that come also are in recovery. They might
Right.
not be veterans, but they're in recovery, or the people that are living at the Nest that have been through just the trauma. Some of them have been in trouble with the law, or have had trouble with addictions and alcohol. We're getting a lot of positive comments. But Sean Core wrote, Vicki and Bill Randall are amazing people that turned their story of honoring their son into a mission of hope for others. Thank you for all that you do. And thank you, Sean, for all you do. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, it's we're getting to know Sean. I mean, Sean's
Yes.
the new director there.
And I got to talk to him tonight. Nice guy on the phone.
And so then we haven't talked about the campground.
Ooh.
We haven't talked about the
I wasn't
gypsy.
sure if I was supposed to.
About the
You got to.
Yeah.
They camp there, and I didn't know if they have a special honors, or so I'm like, maybe I shouldn't mention that.
No, but all of a sudden, after that first winter of going to the nest, Vicky wanted to get a camper. And
we were done with pageants. Pageants just didn't hold the meaning for us that they used to.
yeah.
And I don't know where it happened, but just all of a sudden it's like, let's get a camper.
So we got a little camper, and they have some camping spots there. And so we got a little camper, and we showed up, and we were the only ones there. And I still remember those days. I mean, it was wonderful. I mean, it was this cramped little camper.
And now you have a different one.
A bigger one.
And now we got a little bigger one.
And a platform.
Yeah.
And you almost killed yourself.
I built a deck on
Yeah.
it, and we're by this nice little tree.
Yeah.
And so, and what's wonderful about it for us is it's such a way for us to heal. Such a way for us to do things together on the weekend. And it's not just about us, it's about the guys that are there, and it's about the girls that are there, and it's about, getting together.
It's spending time with the veterans and really getting to know them and hear their stories.
Yeah.
It's cooking dinner at the camper and inviting Alec and Mark down to eat salmon with us last summer on the hottest day of the year.
Yeah.
But it's such a great place to heal. I love sitting around the fire with the veterans. I love sitting in the camper watching movies in the evening, and I love getting up in the morning and having coffee and going to breakfast. It's such a peaceful place.
Well, I love when you post too, and we've had people that have a lot of people that have tuned in just towards the end. And if you've missed the show, you can go back and watch the beginning. I'm Carla Berline, host of Around Town TV, the Twin Cities' longest airing television community showcase.
Yay!
Yay! Minnesota's lifestyle and business experts. We have been featuring the best kept secrets, businesses, organizations, and people since 2003. And I'm grateful for every show we have, all of you tuning in. I couldn't do it without all of you. I thank you. I thank you for supporting my featured businesses, organizations, and people and friends.
And you, Carla.
Me. Yeah, they have been. And I'm only as good as the shows and the people that come and talk about their passions and their organizations like this one. July 27th is the Panda Project, a walk to end veteran suicide. It's in honor of Sergeant Cody Lee Randall, Bill and Vicky's son. And they are a Gold Star family that are here with me today talking about the loss of their son and the Panda Project and their why. And you can, there's no charge to get into the event that day. Registration starts at 11. You can buy the signs.
And you can get a cool t-shirt.
Yep, a cool t-shirt for $20. They take donations. There's a silent auction. Bring items as we've talked about, or go make a donation. I will go back and put all of the ways you can donate back into the description tonight. So for those that have missed the beginning of the show, as you catch it, you'll know. And feel free to reach out to us, private message us too. I will have everybody tagged here. Let's see. I think I'm just looking here to see. I think we got. Looking at all of our comments. I think we covered all the comments. If you do have questions or anything else, feel free to message us if you don't want it in the general comments. Anything else before we go? Did we cover everything?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think so.
Just so thankful for this opportunity.
When we did pageants forever, we didn't make a dime because we didn't want to make a dime. That wasn't what we were doing it for. People would always tell me, well, you should try to make some money off of this. You could really make money out of this. It wasn't about that. It was about the girls. Just like this, when we started this is the new passion. So this isn't about us. This is about the veterans. This is about bringing awareness to suicide. This is about your loved one. And you have an opportunity to come and see what we do. If you have an opportunity to come and maybe talk about your loved one, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like Vicky, I always thought I could talk about it. And so I would start to talk about it, and then I would fail. And then she would kick in, or she would start, and then she would fail, and then I'd have to kick in. But it's you have to start someplace. And talking about your loved one is necessary, it's important, and it's a good thing.
Thank you for saying that,
Yeah,
because
it's a good thing.
It is.
We cannot forget. I know you'll find all the hashtags and everything that says never forget.
Yeah.
We can't forget, because for the people who have lost a loved one to suicide, whether it's military or just
Yeah.
in general, we don't want our child forgotten. And so
Right.
somehow we need
Yeah.
to keep talking about it and keep their memories alive.
Yeah, and I think part of the thing, like Carla mentioned earlier, how can we prevent this or whatever that might be? I don't, I don't know. There's, because we've been to a lot of things, and I don't know that I have that answer either. But what I do have is when you talk about your person or you talk about your loved one, it gets easier and it gets easier, and then that space becomes like it's fun.
Thank
It's
you
almost
for saying
it's
that.
it's fun,
Yeah.
it's like I can talk about that, and it's like you can get closer again to that person. And I always think about Cody, and I always think about, people will talk about, well, why and all this kind of stuff. I've forgotten the whys now. I just know that he was such a great guy and he was such a great kid, and I wish that I could have done more. Don't know that. All I know is that I'm willing to spend that day and that year and help out other people that might be struggling with something.
Well, and that's like such a good point because I get criticized a lot because, as a lot of you that follow me know, I had a lot of great memories with my parents. I didn't marry, I don't have children. I took care of my parents for 12 years, 8 years in the same home. In fact, these two said to me, wow, the last time we were on your show, your parents were
Yeah.
alive. And so it was kind of odd for them to come into a home without them. And so, they came to the funeral. They grieved that loss, just like I grieved the loss of them. And by keeping those memories alive, it makes people watching or scrolling maybe uncomfortable, not understanding, but it makes you feel good. And the more you talk about it, the more you share their legacy. It actually, in fact, on the 4th of July, a relative said to me, wow, it was 5 years ago today you told me that you thought your dad had lung cancer. Oh, should we not talk about it? No,
Yeah, we know.
it's okay to talk about it.
Yeah, it's okay.
It is okay, and I'm okay, and we're gonna be okay. Doesn't mean we're not sad and we don't cry
Yeah,
and
yeah.
feel the pain, but and that's how you can help people heal, is by supporting the healing nest. The
Yeah.
healing,
Absolutely.
yeah, the Eagle's healing nest. Yeah.
Well, there's so many people that come into the nest that, because they have a structure, they have certain things they have to do, and if they don't meet that, they're not welcome there any longer, but they can come back. They can come back.
They get it together again.
I'm big into AA. The thing about AA that works for me is that the newcomer is the most important person, right? And so that's what happens, at the nest. New people come in all the time. And I've seen one story about Alec. This is a quick one, where the first year he sat on a bench, and I didn't really know him that well. And he sat on the bench, and I went past him a couple of times, and then at one point I came up to talk to him, and he was just very like, no, I don't want to talk to anybody right now, right? Next year he was better, and the following year we had him as a speaker.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Alec we've kind of say he's our adopted son, and,
Yeah.
and these are the kind of relationships that we form with a lot of these veterans. Alec is the same age as my daughter, so he could be my son, and he started out in a very dark place, and he has just blossomed into the most amazing person. I mean, if you go to the nest and see him now, he's running everything in there.
Yeah.
He's in control, he's in charge, and he's doing such a great job, and we just adore him.
Yeah.
That's great.
There's so many stories from the nest.
There are, and as you can see, these two are involved more than just camping and running this event. They're involved with the activities from chapel to, and don't you even lead one of the AA?
I haven't yet, but
Okay.
I will.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, I am a sponsor for Troy.
Oh,
And so 3 years Troy's been sober, and Troy runs a meeting on Monday nights sometimes.
Oh,
So
wow.
pretty proud of that.
That's amazing, Troy.
Yeah.
Congrats. I'm
Yeah.
so amazed. Troy and I are friends on Facebook, as it's Sarah, his girlfriend, and I are too, and I just love them both dearly, and only get to see them like once a year at a pageant,
Yeah.
or the Panda Project, but I'm so grateful, and looking forward to seeing everybody again this year. We will go back in and share like how you can donate and more of the details. But also feel free if you're just joining to rewatch the show for any of the details. Okay, did we cover?
I think so.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah. These guys have a drive home tonight, back to Brainerd.
Back to Brainerd.
Way beyond my bedtime.
Yeah, I should have you stay overnight. Yeah, but well, and I just want to thank you all for tuning in. Minnesota's lifestyle and business experts, we've been bringing you the best kept secrets, businesses, organizations, and people since 2003. And again, like I shared earlier, we are the longest airing television community showcase, and I'm grateful to each of you. We go live on Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and next Tuesday is AMPACT, the early learning core, talking about there's a huge need right now for preschool tutors for some of these schools. So we're going to talk about that. So tune in to learn more. We've got a great lineup the rest of the summer. And again, just thank you for tuning in. Any shout outs you want to do before we say goodbye?
Well, I want to say hi to Jeremy Doyle.
Oh, yes. Hi, Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy. Miss Jeremy. Jeremy used to do all our filmography, and his wife. And he's just one of my buddies. And I want to have a shout out to Jeremy.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm shouting out to the Nest and all of my great veteran friends there. And I can't wait to see you all on Saturday, the 27th.
Yep.
And I'm going to do a shout out to Callie Randall, their daughter, who will be there working her butt off that day too.
Always.
And is a part of this, and has 2 little ones, and she's got
Bring
several
the kids.
jobs.
Bring the kids. If you have kids,
yes,
it's a great place for kids. They love it there.
Yep. Can we bring?
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Dogs too.
Dog friendly.
Yep. Mimi, you want to go to the
Bring
nest?
a leash. Bring a leash.
Yeah.
Yep.
We finally got her to quiet. She's eating up. She's been eating that bone the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. We will sign off if there's no more shout outs, but I just want to shout out to again the Eagle's Nest and to Callie and to all of you, and thank you. And
Thank you so much, Carla.
Thanks, Carla.
You're so
We so
well.
appreciate
oh,
it.
I appreciate you. We're a good team.
We are.
Yeah,
All
we are.
right. We'll see you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Time, right here on Around Town TV. Thanks again. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.